I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. I've tried recording this a few times and it's quite difficult because I don't really know what it is and I don't know the point of me telling you. I think it's kind of me setting you up for other videos, right? So in the background, you're going to see FIFA. If you're watching this because you care about the fitness side of things, it actually has nothing to do with FIFA. It's just that I don't have any other footage to talk over right now. I will do in the future, hopefully, if you guys are interested in this. But for right now, we're just going to talk over FIFA because that's basically what I have, right? I could do it full screen, but at least you have something in the background to sort of keep your eyes going, movement. You can listen to it as a podcast if you want, that's fine as well. It's not going to be a long video, but the whole point of it is, over the last maybe 7 months, I've been tracking food, like calories and stuff. I've not necessarily been trying to keep it down. I mean, I have, I guess, but maybe the last 10 days, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2 weeks, I've really focused on trying to minimize fat and sugar and all the rest of it, and I've got a plan set up. I've been tweaking it here or there based on what I can and cannot eat throughout the day, and I think I found the right sort of sweet spot for me. But when I was doing that, I've also been now going on the treadmill, right, and I've been running a little bit. And I've not been running like crazy amounts. I've literally been trying to do 1 mile a day with a bit of walking either side. And I say a bit of walking, I literally mean between 5-10 minutes of walking either side of the mile. And back in 2015, I used to run a lot more than that. I went through a really... it's really good to be angry, and I'm not angry right now, and it's a little bit frustrating. I wish it was an easy way for me to like think of something and get angry, because if you're angry and you go on a treadmill, you can achieve some really good things, because you want to punish your own body, and you feel like punishing your body is putting it through pain. Running beyond the point where your brain is telling you to stop is pain, because your legs are hurting, you're out of breath, maybe your chest is hurting, your arms are starting to feel it. So what I was feeling then was I was angry and I was taking it out on my body, but I was actually helping my body, if that makes sense, because I was obviously losing weight and I was getting into shape. And I'd never really have done weights. I've always been more of just cardio, which is all well and good if you just don't care about, you know, building muscle or anything. But you know, I guess I probably should have done weights at some point, and I probably will do in the future. But for right now, just gonna sort of focus on that cardio. So the point of this video really is to give you a little bit of a background on where I've come from in life, where I am right now. And obviously, as a YouTuber and a FIFA YouTuber who literally at the moment has to make 4 videos a day to make enough money to sustain this, unfortunately, I don't stand up a lot. My watch has, in the middle of making this video already, my watch has buzzed telling me to get up. So I don't have an awful lot of time to spare to stand up, let alone go and do runs and eat healthy and stuff like that. Eating healthy is different. You can do that regardless of what your profession is, and I guess for any sort of food budget as well. I mean, if you go to a supermarket and you don't have an awful lot of money to spend, most fruit and veg is unreal cheap anyway. Like a bag of carrots can be as little as like 20-30 pence, right? So there's not really any excuse. It's just it doesn't taste nice. It maybe isn't filling, and we'll get into nutrition maybe in another like video if you're interested. But and I'm not claiming to be a guru, by the way. Don't know the ins and outs of everything. Don't know exactly what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. But I do come from a active background. So I'm in 5 days, on the 8th of July, I will be 33. Now, this isn't a midlife crisis. It isn't me going, well, you know, like one of those New Year's Eve resolution things, New Year's resolutions, when you go, right, well, I'm going to change this. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to do this. And just because it's my birthday, I've not gone, right, well, I want to make a change. Like I said, I started doing it 2 weeks ago. It just happens to be my birthday in a few days. So back when I was 17, that was probably when I was like 17, 18 is when I was like peak fitness. I think I just left at that point, but around 17, I think I was still in a running club. I was doing competitions every weekend. and I hated competitions. Not that I am competitive. I'm very competitive, but I used to get really nervous before them. It's kind of like when you go for a job interview or you do your your driving test or anything like that. You just used to get really nervous. I used to pee 4 times in 3 minutes. It was ridiculous. I hated it. And there's a lot of waiting around as well. You have to sign in at 9 a.m. and you cannot leave, even though they've scheduled your race for 4 p.m. They won't ever bring it forward. They might push it back, but they won't ever bring it forward. You can't leave. You can't go away and come back. You have to be there bang on when the meeting starts. Absolutely ridiculous, pointless, stupid system. It might have changed by now, but back then it was just stupid. And some of these competitions are miles and miles and miles away, So anyway, there's that. I used to do that every weekend. Used to train 2 or 3 times a week. And I used to run 100 meters and 400 meters. I did get forced into doing some longer distances in school because teachers think they know what's best for you, but they're actually just, they don't. I won't get into my thoughts on teachers necessarily, especially PE teachers. Most of my family are teachers, by the way, so I'm allowed to say bad things. But yeah, they used to get me to run 800. Oh, you're good at long distance. Well, I say long distance, that's a middle distance, but you're good at the longer distances rather than sprinting. I think because there was someone else in my year who was just as quick as I was, and he would probably beat me more than I would beat him. But they then tried to push me because they wanted the school to compete. They wanted to push me into a different distance because it's pointless having 2 sprinters who were basically doing the same thing. We might as well pick the one who's slightly more consistent and will move you to do something else. So they always tried to get me to do a different distance, and I hated it. But in doing that, in a way, I did find out that I was actually very good at the 400 meters. My 100 meter time back when it was at its very best, and it was an official time, it wasn't just someone with a watch from 100 meters away going, all right, okay, go, okay, and just as they crossed the line, it was an official time in I can't remember what competition it was. It was in Leckwith Stadium in Cardiff. I actually hold a stadium record, and it still stands to this day for the 400 meters. I beat a kid. He had to be on some sort of drug, honestly. He was showing off at the beginning. He was massive. He was at least 6'2", and he was proper built, and he was going, what's your time? Oh, what's your time? I was like, I've never run this before. Honestly, it was the first time I'd run it properly. I'd been training for it, but I'd never actually run it officially. And he was like, oh, what's your time? And he was saying his time was 48 seconds or something, which, by the way, is very quick for 400 meters for when you're in schools. And then he was honest. I wish cameras really existed back then, like phone cameras, because people would have filmed it and it would have been amazing to watch back. This is just going off on a tangent, but started running and instantly went off really quick, and I thought, this is going to be a nightmare. He actually set a pace for me because I would not have gone as quick as him had he not done it, right? And I would have been a lot slower. I would have left a lot in the tank at the end, I guess, but still. We were going round, first bend, he's out in front, sort of settled into it. It's difficult to tell because it's all staggered, but I'm basically second at that point. But he's miles in front. I've got a lot of ground to make up. We go round the second bend going into the last 200, and he starts to get a little bit cocky. And as he comes around the last bend into the 100 meters, he's still quite a distance ahead of me at this point. And then he starts waving to the crowd. That was obviously at schools, right? So there's loads of kids in the thing, and he's showboating and all the rest of it. And I just glance up, and he's in 2 lanes over. And I glance up and I see him do this, and I get really angry, and I'm like, are you for real? And I just I say head down, it wasn't, it was head up, because you can't put your head down when you're running, and it was proper technique mode. I was remembering everything I'd learned that far, and I went for it, and I beat him on the dip, and he didn't dip because he was still showboating, and I beat him, and I actually he ran a PB, but I also ran a PB, and it was a 46.2, I think it was, which is very quick, unbelievably quick, and it's an official time. It's held at that stadium for the age range as well, and yeah, beat him. Didn't speak to him after. Would love to have, and he probably would, I'll let you win. Did you, though? Don't think you did. That was one of my most proudest moments in my life, and it wasn't caught on camera. There's no pictures or anything. But anyway, 46.2 is an unbelievably quick time. I think 44 seconds, 44 and a bit, is the Olympic qualifying time. Just because you can qualify doesn't mean you're actually going to be able to compete. There are people who are a lot faster than me, or were faster than me. I can't do that anymore. I wouldn't be able to run it sub 1 minute these days. But My point is, I come from a background of being able to do 100 meters and 400 meters. I think my 100 meter time was 10.8. I don't know if I mentioned that. But that was, again, very quick. But there were people out there who were doing it just as quick as I could. And that was, following wind, very good day. I felt very good and I wasn't nervous for whatever reason. And yeah, it was just like everything, sort of all the circumstances came together and helped me. There was no way I could do that consistently. But again, that was another official time. That was a different day. But my point is, I come from that sort of background where I used to do an awful lot of athletics and running and sport. I used to play football a lot as well. And as the years progressed and you sort of leave school, you grow up a little bit, you move out, you then obviously have to focus on cooking your own food and doing all your own washing and all the rest of it. And then you get a job and you've got to try and do 8 to 10 hours a day in a job. You come home, you're too tired. That kind of led me for the next 10 years to be unbelievably lazy. There were stints in amongst that sort of 10-year period from, I would say, from 20 to 30, where I would do some runs and I would, I'd still go and do a couple of runs here or there, but I'd never really try and eat healthy. 5 years ago, 2015, if you go look at my Instagram, I posted an awful lot of sort of training video, well, not videos, but like pictures. So I used to do treadmill a lot. And I was running 6-minute miles, which is very good. I was very impressed with that. I think my best, I ran 10 miles in an hour. So insane. I couldn't have done any more than that. Like I couldn't have done 20 miles in 2 hours, but I was very happy with that, right? That's a very respectable, very, very respectable time to be able to run that amount of distance in that amount of time. So like 6-minute miles, right? So then it kind of dropped off and I got a little bit too comfortable again. And yeah, and from then until now, I put on a fair bit of weight. I'm not fat, but I'm not tall either, so it makes it worse, right? I think I'm about 5'10" at a push on a good day. If I've had like my correct portion of carrots, I might be 5'11", but generally I'm probably shrinking. I'm probably like 4'6" now, but either way, 5'10", and I use an app called NutriCheck, which is essentially like MyFitnessPal or anything like that. It's just a different one. And at the start of the year, 20th of January, I was 14 stone 2. That is overweight, like massively overweight. I say massively, I'm guessing it is. The other thing to remember, and I'm not making excuses here, is because I've done so much athletics and training at a younger age, my legs are a lot bigger because they're a lot more muscular than someone who skips leg day, right? I hate the whole, I'm going to skip leg day because I don't like who likes doing legs. I actually prefer doing it. I'm the opposite. I skip arm day and chest day. But yeah, so I was 14 stone 2, not ideal. I don't look like fat, really. I look a little bit like, you need to lose a little bit, but, nothing too crazy. But since then, I did have maybe a 6 to 8 week period where I kind of just didn't track the calories or anything. Went on holiday as well, didn't track anything there. And I've not really done exercise up until maybe the last 10 days. And since then, I've lost 1 stone 1. I've only really lost, I think I probably lost 7 pounds in the last month. But before that, obviously, yeah, I've come down. I'm now 13.1, right? And I haven't weighed today, so I might be a little bit less. But generally, it's going in the right direction. I wouldn't necessarily recommend to weigh yourself every day unless you want to do it for a week and get your average. But either way, it kind of I don't have a goal weight in mind necessarily. It's just I know it's going in the right direction. I know I'm doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. If you get to a point where your weight plateaus and you're doing the same thing, you need to change it up a little bit. You maybe need to shock your body, eat a lot of calories one day and then go back into it, and then it might shock your body into not storing fat, etc. We'll talk more about that in another video if you're interested. But that was just a little background on where I am right now. It's very difficult for me right now to do as much exercise as I want. After this video is done and I put it onto render, I am going to go on the treadmill because I've not done it today. What I'll do is between 5 and 10 minutes of walking at a very quick pace, and then I will go into the mile. I'm currently running miles at about 9 minutes, which is not ideal. I mean, that's 3 minutes slower than what I was doing 5 years ago because I'm so out of training with it. It's difficult and I've got my medical, slightly more medical issues that I didn't have 5 years ago with arthritis and things like that, which obviously doesn't help. but that's just an excuse, so I'm not going to use it. I will get back to doing close to 6-minute miles if I can. And obviously, if you're interested in seeing the journey, I'll be more than happy to post these type of videos. I would love nothing more than to, I mean, okay, I still enjoy playing FIFA to a degree in small doses, but I'm not saying I want to change the channel completely, but I would love to be able to introduce this type of content, you know, not how to keep fit necessarily, but this is like, I tried to run, I don't know, 20 miles in one day, or I tried to eat 10,000 calories and lose 10,000 calories in one day, those type of things, right? Because even though I'm still doing this and I'm trying to like lose weight and look better and things, I'm more than happy to do some sort of like challenges like that. Like, can we burn 5,000 calories and then eat 12 donuts? It's not really healthy to do, but it's fun and enjoyable, and I'd love to do that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not used to filming any of this stuff, so obviously in the background at the moment you have FIFA, because I've not really filmed any sort of working out or anything. But if you are interested in this type of thing where we do challenges and weight loss challenges and eating challenges and all the rest of it, and just combine like a full day of eating or whatever it may be, then yeah, let me know by hitting the like button. And of course, if you want to share whatever story you have or ask a question or whatever it may be, that's what the comment section's for, and of course that's what my Twitter's for as well. Time wise, it's not easy for me to fit in 4 videos a day because of the way the revenue is since the whole lockdown thing. I have to do 4 videos a day to maintain a living. So doing that and trying to eat healthy and exercise is not ideal, but I'm trying my best. And if I can incorporate a fitness video every now and again, it will allow me to do a little bit more, because it's essentially work, right? That's where I'm kind of hopefully going to get at, but it is what it is. If you have enjoyed it and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.